In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what to do if you mess up your diet. If you go off track, you screwed up, you basically went YOLO and emptied your fridge. You royally messed up. So how do you recover from this as fast as possible? Well, I'm going to give you the exact same tips that I give to all my students, and they've all gone to see some amazing results. So you know it works. Before we get started, give this video a like, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to get notified every time I post a new video every week. The mind is a funny thing. It's a very powerful thing. We usually don't give it enough credit with just how much it controls our lives. If you know how to harness its power properly, it can be a very powerful tool in your arsenal. But if you don't know how to get a hold of it, life is seemingly always going to be an uphill battle for you. For example, it's so easy to look at other people, our friends. You see what's happening in their lives and you give them sound advice. If someone's in a bad relationship, for example, it's so easy to look at it. It's easy for us to see it and say, you should just leave. Or maybe someone's overreacting. Let's say you're in the car with a friend and someone cut you off and your friend starts freaking out. It's so easy to just say, just chill, it's all good, it's not worth crying over spilled milk, we're okay, let's move on. But for some reason, it's so hard to have that kind of no-nonsense talk with ourselves, especially when it comes to our diet, which, by the way, is one of the best benefits of having a coach like me, where if you mess up, I can just tell you to stop. It's not the end of the world. Don't freak out. And having a coach to lean onto for support and accountability is so underrated when it comes to your success. It's not even funny. I mean, I have a coach that I work with. I need someone to keep me accountable. Just think about this. Even Olympic athletes, and these are the cream of the crop. These are people at the highest level of their respective sport. They have coaches that they work with regularly. What makes you any different? And if you're interested in getting some coaching with me, then definitely check out the link in the description box. But I am gonna give you some sound advice here, because this is a very common theme I get whenever I do coaching calls with clients. They'll say they mess up their diet, they feel bad, like, why did I do that? I've thrown away everything, this is all for nothing. All of this is basically a waste. First of all, stop. Get your head out of your butt and stop with the negativity train. You need to cut the cord on this negative self-talk as fast as possible, as if your life depends on it. So step number one is to just take a nice deep breath. I'll even do it with you. Breathe through your nose and out through your mouth. You immediately already feel better, right? Let me make this crystal clear right away. You did not waste your time. This is just an imaginary deadline you made up in your head about when you're supposed to arrive. Like, what time did you waste? There's no deadline. There's no finish line in all of this. Unless you do bikini shows or physique shows where they have to literally starve themselves for this quote-unquote show, there's no deadline. There's no pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. You don't cross an imaginary finish line once you get to your target weight. You still have to put in the work. Like, I still put in the work day in and day out, because if I don't, I'll get fat just like everyone else. You don't just get to your target weight and say, I'm good, I've made it. I'm also just as susceptible to mistakes and temptations just like everyone else. I just have a little bit more experience and a few tools in my mental toolbox. But I want you to get rid of this all or nothing attitude that you've just wasted all this time and effort you've put in if you mess up. You know what that's called? Life. You are going to mess up more than once. It's all part of the process. Number two, think of your favorite shirt or your favorite jacket. Maybe you're in a rush one day and it gets caught in a nail or something and you rip a hole on it. We see this and maybe we allow ourselves to get upset for a minute. But right away, our mind goes, how do we fix this? Maybe you stitch it up yourself. Maybe you take it to a seamstress. They fix it and it's good as new. So if you rip a hole in your shirt and you fix it, you don't go around for the next week or two beating yourself up about it. You don't say, I can't believe I waited that long to fix my shirt. What a waste of time. No, once it's stitched up, you move on. It's a thing of the past. But the former, where we actually dwell on that mistake, is exactly what we do with our diet. We mess up, we rip a little hole on our diet, and we just go to town beating ourselves up about it. We hop on the negativity train. Destination, misery. Population, 1. Just you. You have a pity party all by yourself. And sometimes if you don't get a grip on this, remember I said the mind is a very powerful thing. This can send some people into a black hole. Our self-sabotage behavior gets triggered, and it can even send some people into a deep downward spiral they can't get out of. They'll say, screw it, this was a complete waste. And since I already feel bad, I might as well go all the way. If you rip a tiny hole in your shirt, you don't rip it into a bigger hole. You don't rip the shirt completely. You don't go around ripping a hole on your other shirts. You don't go around and ruin all your clothes. That's insane. That doesn't even make sense. No, a normal human being would get the hole stitched up and move on with their life doing awesome things. If you mess up and rip a little hole in your diet, stitch it up and get back on track. And now, every time you wear that shirt and you see the little stitching, you're reminded about what happened last time and the lesson you learned from it. There's absolutely no reason to think that, oh, I screwed up on my diet. That was a waste of time. No, you did not waste your time. There's no finish line. There's no end to this. Again, just breathe and relax. There was a problem. There was a little mishap. app, you fix the problem, now you can get back on track. That's it. It's as simple as that. All you have to do is literally make that mental shift in your head. And here's the kicker. You can't actually mess up. The only way to actually royally mess up is if you don't get back on track. This is why I always reference one of my favorite quotes from one of my favorite books. It's called Atomic Habits by James Clear. The first mistake is never the one that ruins you. It's the spiral of repeated mistakes that follow. The problem is thinking that if you can't do something perfectly, then you shouldn't do it at all. If you mess up, it was exactly just that, a mistake, an isolated incident. However, if you consciously follow it with another one, then that is the start of a new habit. Here's the thing, when you have these little slip-ups, when you have pizza, ice cream, french fries, or whatever your caloric kryptonite may be, you didn't mess up. You didn't just ruin everything. One bad meal won't make you fat, just like one good meal won't magically make you skinny. You didn't ruin everything as long as you get back on track. Do you see what I mean here? Again, we're so nice to people. We give them advice when they mess up. We encourage them to keep trying. We're such good friends. But when it comes to our inner voice, the inner dialogue we have with ourselves, we're the complete opposite. We can be so mean. When we mess up, we beat ourselves up about it. And we use this as an excuse to not get back on track. Do you ever notice that? You feel bad and now you just want to feel worse. Ever notice that when you're sad and you're crying, you start thinking about other things that make you even more upset? You start thinking about random things like, why did Emily not invite me to her birthday party in the 3rd grade? Or some other random sad story you've been holding on to this entire time. Or you force yourself to cry even more. You do the ugly cry. And then you watch yourself ugly cry in front of the mirror. Like, what? And we've all done it, but we're so good at that, right? So you feel bad, you make yourself feel even worse because Emily didn't invite you to her birthday party when you were little, and in comes the chocolate and ice cream, and you don't even bother with the bowl anymore. You just eat it out of the container. When people are on the negativity train, they use the I messed up on my diet thinking as an excuse to keep doing it and not get back on track. They have a pity party all by themselves. It's the worst kind of party. When the reality is, if I go out Friday night and have a couple of pops, for example, I had pizza and ice cream and I get home, I had a lot of fun, I probably ate twice as many calories as I normally eat, but whatever, I'm not gonna beat myself up about it. I'm back on track the next day. By the way, you should check out this video if you want to know how to keep losing weight after a cheat meal. Here's the thing, in the history of feelings, nobody has come out a better person from beating themselves up and making themselves feel bad. Nobody. Because you change best when you feel good, not when you feel bad. This, by the way, is why I'm a fan of scheduled/optional weekly cheat meals, and why I think it's such a bad idea to have an all or nothing attitude, especially when it comes to food. Because we are extremely flawed as human beings. The more you tell someone they can't have something, the more they want it. And this is what I tell my coaching clients. I give them some wiggle room. And that kind of flexibility in your diet increases adherence drastically. If you schedule to have a cheat meal Friday night, you can get back on track a lot easier and a lot faster Saturday morning because you actually planned for it. It was just a small blip on the radar. But if you didn't plan for it and it happens anyway and you don't have this kind of perspective and it sends you into a downward spiral all weekend, Monday morning comes in, you weigh yourself and you're 5 pounds heavier, you start freaking out, and then it turns into a vicious cycle. Next thing you know, you're completely off the wagon. And if you're watching this video and you're one of those people who's gone on that negativity spiral, just remember this. You are one good decision away from turning it around. You are one good decision away from a completely different life. That's it. It's as simple as that. You just need to make that choice to go the other way and stop with the pity party. And just remember the hole in the shirt analogy. If you tear a hole in your shirt, you get it stitched up and you move on. You don't go around tearing a hole on your other shirts. And again, let that stitching remind you of the lesson you've learned throughout this entire process. Again, there's no finish line here, so you can't really mess up. It's just food at the end of the day. The only way for you to actually mess up is if you don't get back on track, if you actually quit on yourself. And even if that happens, you're always one good decision away from turning the ship around. Nothing in life is permanent, so regain your composure because it's waiting for you. The next question then becomes, how are you actually supposed to eat if you want to lose weight? Because here's the thing, 80% of your body composition is determined by your diet. You can't just freestyle this part. Do you have a proven plan that you can follow? To help you with that, I want to give you a free copy of my Lean Body Blueprint. This is how I melted all the fat around my stomach without depriving myself of my favorite foods or wasting hours at the gym. It's a simple 4-step process specifically designed for busy professionals, and it's the exact same blueprint that I teach to all my private coaching clients, and they've all gone to see some amazing results. If you want to be the next success story, then download your free copy of the Lean Body Blueprint right now. There's going to be a link somewhere at the top here or in the description box. Just click on it, type in your email, and I'll send it to you right away. Alright, that's all I've got. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and share it with your friends. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I post a new video every week. And hey, leave a comment below if you have any questions about this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. First, a high five.